WoW Classic Blacklist. What the hell is it? Hello everybody, what is up? Welcome back to the channel. If this is your first time here, then welcome. My name is Tibby from Vectorburn, as you can see. And today we are indeed going to talk about WoW Classic Blacklist. What is the Blacklist? Who's an advocate for it? Who's against it? And what are my personal opinions on it? And what would be the best course of action if I were in their shoes? And I would really love to hear your guys' opinions. What would be the solution to this? Because I'm not exactly sure. It's kind of a tough nut to crack, but you know, I'm sure we can all put our 200 IQ gigabrains together and figure out a solution. So real quick before we start, if you like the video, if you like the content on this lonely little channel, consider subscribing. It really does help me out a lot. Maybe throw in a like, just a curveball, and if you want, turn on the little notification bell. So with that being said, let's get into the video. Alright, so a WoW Classic Blacklist. What is it exactly? By definition, a blacklist is a list of players that has been made by a specific person or guild whom have listed other specific players to be avoided in groups, raids, all kinds of group activities for kill stealing, ninja looting, spamming, and all that kind of jazz. Now this has proven to be a very ineffective way of dealing with bad players, due to the sheer volume of players, and different guilds on one realm, along with the extremely notorious players, always have the option to change their name, and leaving an effective blacklist up to the future implementation, only possible by Blizzard. Now, I really doubt Blizzard will do anything like this, because that would mean that the person that has been blacklisted, even if they change their name or even server, they would still be flagged as blacklisted, and that would just kind of defeat the purpose of the business itself, because they would lose business, they would lose subscribers. So I really don't see Blizzard implementing anything like this. Now with that being said, this whole controversy started because of a very popular streamer named Sodapoppin. Now, if you don't know Sodapoppin, his real name is Chance Morris. He is one of the biggest streamers on Twitch at the moment, and he started out his streaming career with World of Warcraft. He was quite a good PvP player, and everything just snowballed from there. So he's a big advocate of WoW Classic. And recently, I will leave a link down in the description, recently he suggested the creation of a blacklist, or practically just shun anyone killing them if they intentionally stream snipe them, right? Now the problem is here that how do you prove it? Let's say you are from the opposing faction, you're just minding your own business, in the world, killing stuff, doing your quests, and then you see someone from the opposing faction, right? And then you go up, you kill him, and if you succeed, this is just by nature, if you succeed in killing someone, especially if you kill them more easily, then you will probably stick around and kill them a few more times, just for the hell of it. Like, this behavior is nothing new. It has been like this since vanilla, and I would say, it diminished in time, but it was still present up until the point where Blizzard just implemented this World PvP and the ability to turn off World PvP. But until then, this was kind of the case. You killed someone, or someone killed you, they would most likely stick around and kill you just a few more times. Now, if you're a streamer, you will automatically think that, okay, this guy is stream sniping me, he's seen me where I am, and now he kind of gets off on this. And if the streamer decides to blacklist you, like Soda's idea is that he would have friends on the opposing faction as well, maybe friends in really good guilds, and then those guilds would blacklist this player, perhaps shout out his name in like trade chat and stuff, advertising that everybody should stay away from this player, never group with him, never take him to raids, or maybe not even let him do his normal stuff. which could include simple things like mining or herbalism or stuff like that. Because in vanilla, when you tag something, be that a mob or a resource, it is yours. Now, if you get enough people to do this, then that may be considered griefing, and I think that you can then report that to Blizzard, but it's really a gray area, so there's no fun in that. Now, another issue is that, I mean, who decides a player isn't allowed to play the game on their own terms, right? Both the streamer and the individual will pay the same amount of money, and they should have the exact same privileges as far as playing the game, right? The game requires you to pay a sum, you pay that sum, and then in return you get to enjoy the game exactly like anyone else. Now, if they decide to kill the streamer, or anybody else for that matter, specifically playing on a PvP server where most people chose that because they want to take part in such activities, then they should be able to do that. I think it is absolutely ludicrous to think that someone just can get mad at you or annoyed with you and then put you on a blacklist, which severely hinders the way you play the game, just because you killed them. Even if you didn't stream snipe, you just killed him for fun or because you could. Now, in Soda's video, he even suggested that people should play on any other server besides the one he's on, and by people I mean the ones that may grief him, which is absolutely absurd. Just think about this. Hypothetically speaking, let's say I would have the exact same fame as one of these big streamers, such like Soda, and someone killed me 2-3 times, and I got really annoyed, and I just blacklisted him. And if he complained about that or DM'd me that, you know, why did you do that? I'm sorry, whatever. My best answer or question would be, why did you choose the server? Why don't you just go and play on another server? That is absolutely ludicrous. That's absurd. That's not okay. Like, I'm getting worked up even thinking about this. Now, I don't have anything personal against Soda, don't get me wrong. I actually really enjoy his streams, and especially the IRL stuff, but that's neither here nor there. But the suggestion itself, the audacity of it, that just gets me going. Now, as a counter argument to all of this, a lot of people just suggested, well, he should just play off stream, which I don't think is fair either, because they're streamers, that's what they do, their livelihood depends on that, and having something that you could only enjoy if you sacrificed, and by sacrifice I mean just give up your livelihood, now that's not okay either. I mean, that's no way. Now, keep in mind that streamers also have a truckload of benefits when it comes to online games, especially WoW. They will have a cult following, like whoever is following or subscribed to these streamers will defend them to the moon and back, and they can reap the benefits of that as opposed to a regular player. These benefits include like items and gold and groups, raids, anything. Like, they would get prioritized over a regular player just because, you know, everybody wants their 5 minutes of fame. So yeah, they do have a lot of benefits and privileges, along with a lot of problems as well. On the other hand, I wholeheartedly agree that streamers should be able to play the game just like anybody else. Frustration and anger can build up, and you could make the argument that, oh, just go and play on a PvE server, but that's not really a solution. Streamers such as Soda, Peyo, Asmongold, Swifty, Quinn, you know, etc. Love the game and love the PvP aspect of it. However, it needs to be a combination of PvP, PvE, progression, gold farming, everything, you know? Naturally, everyone will focus on one aspect of the game a bit more, but that doesn't mean that the rest of the systems should be cancelled out. Now, this is why saying just move to a PvE server is not a solution. You want to be able to enjoy everything the game has to offer, including World PvP. I enjoy World PvP, and I'm not a big fan of PvP, but I do like Battlegrounds, I do like Rated Battlegrounds, and I do like World PvP. Now, I'm not talking about our current system of World PvP, because that's just messed up. I'm saying I really liked the old school PvP system where you just meet someone from the opposing faction while you were questing, and then a battle starts, which is really, really cool. And if you decide to play on a PvE server, then you just straight up can't do that. Not to mention that in Phase 1, when WoW Classic will launch, Battlegrounds will not be available, so the only outlet for PvP will be World PvP, which means you do need to play on a PvP server. Now, after Sodapoppin's stream, where he was a firm advocate of creating the blacklist, the news got a lot of traction. Like, a lot of people were really upset, and I guess they had the right to do that. But then a Reddit post caught traction after Soda's announcement, and they suggested creating a guild of basically stream hunters. I will leave a link to that Reddit post down below. What they said in the thread, it kind of makes a lot of sense, and I do agree with the one who posted it, that a streamer should not be this almighty entity that dictates how you play the game. I mean, you know, hindering your ability to play the game while both of you pay the exact same amount of money is just obnoxious. Like, that's not fair. That's, you know, it's not even worth considering that. But then this guy just went the exact opposite way, and he said that he is going to find out where the biggest streamers are going to be playing and then create a guild. And I think he even mentioned that the guild name should be the Blacklist or something like that. And everybody will be welcome, and the sole purpose of the guild will be to help each other gear up as fast as they can and then hunt down streamers relentlessly, just to do everything you can to halt their progression, basically. And I don't know, this is as obnoxious as what Soda said. Like, this is no different at all. I'm sitting here thinking that, let's say there are 20 big, huge streamers playing on your server, and you just do your own thing, right? Like, how does the streamer that is playing on your server affect your gameplay? I mean, it doesn't. It just simply doesn't. I have no idea if there are big streamers on the server that I created my characters on. I do not know, and I don't really care. I don't know, people just really are into this, like, where are the streamers? Let's kill them. And then the streamers, let's blacklist them. And there's this whole tug of war, and it just brings no satisfaction or no positivity to anybody. I mean, the best thing would be to just ignore that and play the game and enjoy it. Enjoy the fact that WoW Classic is actually coming back. Enjoy the nostalgia, you know, do whatever you want. And I just don't know why you would care so deeply that a streamer is playing. Like, he's just playing the game just like you, right? I don't know, it's just beyond me. But after all of this, Sodapoppin has sent out a tweet fairly recently that he might take a few months off streaming just to be able to play the game. Now, as a non-streamer, this seems like an obvious solution to this issue. However, we're also talking about someone's livelihood again, right? This is their job. Like, whatever you want to call it, a job, a hobby that makes money, an income, a dream, you know, a privilege, whatever you want to call it. It is a job after all. Now, having to basically quit your job just because you want to play a game that brings you joy, brings you nostalgia, is messed up. Like, that's not okay either. But I kind of do see what Soda is saying, that realistically the only way he could fully enjoy the game and the nostalgia is to not stream the gameplay, which in turn will hurt him financially. Now, I'm not saying he doesn't have money or he doesn't have money saved up, but it's like you need to quit your job just because you want to play World of Warcraft, right? Even if you have like a normal job. You can take a vacation, and that's usually what I do. I take about 5 days of vacation just so I could play the newest thing, right? Like the newest expansion or what have you. And I guess that would make sense for even for streamers. You would take like 5 days off, or let's say 10 days off, even though in streamer life 10 days just missing in action is not a good idea. But let's say you can do that. Like, realistically speaking, 10 days is okay, but a couple of months, that's a whole nother ball game. That's definitely a no-no. So yeah, I don't know, it's a tough nut to crack. Now, after researching and reading up on this whole blacklist drama, and it's almost like a paradox, I kind of tried to put myself in their shoes and think about what I would do if I were them. And I think the solution that would make the most sense to me in the current state of the game would be to play on a PvE server, get to max level, maybe do a few dungeons or what have you, and either wait for phase 2 or 3 until battlegrounds are introduced, or just transfer servers after I get my max level. Now, I'm not exactly sure if character transfer will be unlocked on Classic WoW, but I mean, I don't see why they wouldn't do that, because there's a lot of money to be made by Blizzard there. So I'm pretty sure you will be able to transfer your characters to another server. So I guess for me personally, that's what I would do. So just play on a PvE server and wait for battlegrounds, even though it's not the same as World PvP, and I'm fully aware of that. Or just play on a PvE server until you get to max level and get a few items, and then switch to a PvP server and just take it from there. Alright, so that was it for today. I hope you enjoyed the video. I would love to hear your thoughts on this matter. What do you think would be the best course of action for the streamers, but also do you think that the guys that are anti-streamers are a bit extreme? I would say yes, but I don't know, I'm not in their shoes, and you know exactly what my opinion is. Anyway, thank you for watching. Again, if you want, please consider subscribing. It really does help out a lot. And until next time, have a great one, everybody. Bye-bye.